So flying splinters, maybe, and a ticking clock. And this ticking clock looks really weird. It looks like things that people are seeing here and there. But, welcome dear friends. Right recruiting right. Have you ever considered that right recruiting right, can it be, when I first heard of it, I didn't know what it was. What is it that you call what you have never heard before or you think is very difficult to understand? So this is going to be a conversation, right? It says avid minor conversation. Avid minor is a smart play on my name, avid, Ashish Vidyarthi. Minor is somebody who minds within. So it's really smart. So, since it's a conversation, what comes to your mind about something which is very difficult to comprehend? What would you call it? Ambiguous, okay, what else? A conundrum, okay, what else? Consider, for want of time, suppose we say that, what if it's, the word that we are looking at is rocket science? Is it possible for it to be rocket science? Yes, no? Great. So, right recruiting right is rocket science, right? Nah, of course not. You say it's rocket science and you lose your job. You're not going to do that, right? Because people are spying on you. So is it rocket science? Yes, no? No, of course not. Really, no. Had it, I agree with you. Had it been rocket science, we would have had a full day symposia with two different channels of communication and all that. It doesn't happen in rocket science, right? It happens only for rocket science. It doesn't happen for right recruiting right, does it? People Matters is spending a lot of money because it is probably closer to rocket science than we all would want to admit. So a question to you. I'll just go up here so I can see everyone. A question to you. What is it about rocket science that we are so quick to say that it is not rocket science? So what is rocket science? Any thoughts? What is rocket science? What is rocket science? What could be rocket science? Something above the ordinary. All right? Okay. What else about rocket science? And the thing is right there in the name itself. Rocket science. Do we want to take it lightly, rocket science? Yes, no? No! Achha, you'll have to shout out loud because, no, got it. So what about rocket science that we don't take lightly? What do rockets do? They launch, right? And, yeah, they take a payload someplace, right? So in rocket science, you have to get the right amount of things in place. We calculate the payload, we put in the kind of ignition that is required, and then it fires off, and it reaches wherever it reaches. So a rocket to Mars looks and feels and weighs a lot different than something which just has to reach an orbit around Earth. Yes, no? So consider rocket science is about precision. Yes, no? How is right recruiting right any different? Right recruiting right is about you launching them, my friends. And let's take some magic or hoobu-joobu out of it. Right recruiting right, in my understanding, is right recruiting is understanding what is it that my company wants from me. What is it? What is the vision? What is that the company is at the core of at this moment? And then recruiting right is to get that right fit. Yes, no? A bit like if we know that this rocket is to go towards Mars, we are going to actually calculate the weight of the payload, and we are also going to calculate the amount of fuel that is going in and what kind of fuel across the stages. Probably what we have here is a set of people who have launched quite a set of people. Yes or no? Have you launched people into a new career graph? Yes, no? You know what we call them in my profession? If you ever launch me, you know what I'll call you? If you launch anyone, you know what you'll be called? Bhagwan ho aap. You're God. You are God. Sir, aapne mujhe launch kiya. Bahut bahut shukriya. You're God. You're God. Except God has another connotation. Aaj khush to bahut hogi tum. तुमने ये किया मेरे साथ. तुमने. ये aspect भी देखा है आपने? If you are God, and people have said, thank you so much, but for you, I would have just been here. कुछ और भी बोला है क्या लोगों ने आपको कभी? Yes, no? Yeah, all of them, sort of thank you, sir. Only thank yous. Yes, no? People have said many things. My friends, please get this straight. When we become God, we are open to it all. This conversation is aimed at people who have taken responsibility of allowing people to throw bouquets and brickbats. Is this group or not? Thank you. So, let's look at what do we have at hand when we are doing right recruiting right. Consider at the core of it is that mission, which I call mission extraordinary. Extraordinary. So at different points of time when we as actors, when we go about making a film, there is a script which comes up, yes? And then that script has to turn into reality. Otherwise, it's just an idea. What makes this mission extraordinary ever possible? Can you take a guess? Unless you've been reading my things, then how could you speak before I said? Of course. It's a cast that delivers. Please see it in your context. So you have an idea, you have something that you want to deliver. The company is asking you, you know what the 5-month plan is, nearly. And as somebody said, you not only know them for the 5-month plan, you also think that I'm going to hire not just for these 5 months and the 6 months, but also what is possible for that person going further. And for that, you need a cast that delivers, which in your case is called the talent, right? And you people are chiefs in that. And for that, whenever you hire that talent, this is what you do. You truthfully tell them why you're hiring them. You truthfully tell them, right? You tell them that, you know what? Once you come into this family of this organization, your life is made. And except that you're not the only person who's involved in this truthful narration, the person on the other side said, sir, madam, all my life, पूरी जिंदगी मैं करना चाहता था आपके साथ काम. Really, till the day I die, I'm going to be there. So a couple of truthful narrations happen, just like it happens in films too. Because when they give a narration, sometimes you wonder, कोई और role कर रहा है कि नहीं? क्योंकि मेरे ही role की बात हो रही है. And sir, then you come in, and then of course this fight is there. Then what happens, sir? In the second, I said, 1 second, और किसी का role है कि नहीं है? Because when that person is narrating, he's only narrating what I would like to hear. How truthful is that? On a scale of 0 to 10, 1, 2, stretch it 2.5. And you know what? We all know it. Consider at the core of it all is, if I don't trust the person who's hiring me, and the person who's hiring me isn't trusting me, no right recruitment is happening. It is one of the most dangerous conversations that I have dealt in as an actor, because in films, people think that lying is okay. You know, people have this notion, jhoot bolte raho yaar. Everybody's lying. And I discovered that's one of the most heaviest things to carry. Of course, in corporations, you don't have such a culture. Guess what? It's a culture in which I say things that you like to hear and you repeat the things that I like to hear. Except throughout that period, we are just gaining more distrust, not gaining trust, gaining distrust. The key thing for me which evolved over time is, how will it be if I can share with the people in my journey that there will be different stages in this relationship? Does it happen for you in your organization that when we hire someone, they are hired for a stage? Yes, no? A stage. And what is that? According to that stage, that person is meeting all the requirements. Yes, no? How will it be if that person realizes even at that point that that person is valid in this stage, but for the next stage, he may, she may not be valid. See how difficult even it is, even in this symposia, to say that even in the next stage, probably you will not be valid. Have you ever considered that when you were in the 9th grade, what kind of a teacher were you looking for if you ever wanted a teacher to help you out? A teacher who would help you in? For 9th grade, maximum 10th. Not exactly for SAT, right? Consider right recruiting, right, has started very easily in our lives years back. We never called it by that name. We engaged people who worked for us at that point of time, and they spent time with us because it worked for them at that point of time. Somewhere as we grew up, we started asking for guarantees, asking for will it continue for life or not. And you know what? When we asked for it, you know what people did? What did they do? I'll give you a hint. If you ask for it, they give it. You ask for a guarantee, they give it. It's a bit like that film Annie Hall, in which Woody Allen says, at the end of the film, Dan Keaton leaves him and goes finally. And he says that Annie didn't love me. Annie left me. It's a bit like this. A man went to his doctor and said, "Doctor, my brother is behaving like a hen." The doctor asked, "How long has he been behaving so?" The man replied, "It's been years." Doctor asked, "Why didn't you come to me before?" The man replied, "We was waiting for the eggs." We all wait for the eggs. And we all promise people eggs when we aren't the hen. Different stages, different strokes. What is available to humanity when we speak the truth is people know exactly what they have to do and what is expected of them. And I bring you now to one of the interesting things that happens in film production, which is the first stage of film production, which is known as pre-production. Pre-production has a casting, shoot has a casting, and a post-production has a casting. Each one has a shelf life. Nothing is forever. We are luckier than you. We are self-employed. We don't ask for guarantees. People don't give us guarantees. All right? So the entrepreneur starts when that person has to work for her living. It's not guaranteed one. So in pre-production, we have the script writer, we have the ideators, we have the production coming in, we have the designers coming in. They are all working here. As the film goes into the next level, which is the shoot, a whole lot of them have gone away, and a new set of people have come in. The cameraman has come in. The lighting people have come in. The people who are arranging, actually constructing the sets have come in. Because they have now, the others have gone away. All right? Still, some other people aren't there right now. The editor isn't around. The Foley person isn't around. Foley is the person who makes those sounds. This is done the Foley. It's actually working. Okay? But the Foley is the person who makes these sounds so that it looks real. And at the shoot, the actors come in. The actors have been there for a bit in the pre-production when we are talking with them, and they were saying mind-blowing pictures. Mind-blowing, sir. So we've been listening. Now we are shooting and creating that mind-blowing film. shooting. At the shoot, all these people have come in. And then comes the post-production. And what I love about it is the post-production embellishments happening. So the people who are right at the beginning have long gone. They have been hired for that period and they're now gone, or they are being ebbing out. The people in the shoot are still around, but not too much. At the point of post-production, the assistant cameraman is just about there. He's doing some color correction along with the camera person. But the rest of the team has changed. The editors have come in, the sound people have come in, they're embellishing things. So what is embellishment here? Consider at one point, you've hired that person. You've hired that person after due diligence. You know what the vision of your company, and you've hired them. And post-production is considered a point in which that person has been working for a while. As I see it, it's one of the most amazing opportunities for each of us. Because at that point, the talent which is already there in our midst has an opportunity to unfetter itself. That talent has the ability which you as HR people may train into that purple squirrel. Because the squirrel has been hired and you have made due diligence to make sure that it is a learning squirrel. It has the ability to grow. The post-production embellishment is that the shot has been canned, a good shot, and now we will improve it if we want it. Because certain lighting needs to be changed, certain color correction needs to be made, certain editing has to be done, certain shots have to be thrown away, certain things have to be coming in. Post-production is the most amazing part of the film, where we already have something shot, but we have the expertise to improve that. Do we see something coming up for you here? So here is a person already hired, working with you for a while, and now something else is required from that person. This is the zone that I'm talking of, the post-production embellishments. But why am I talking to you? Remember I said something about, at first, that it's probably rocket science? Yes, no? Yeah, I spoke about the rocket science. But you know, not many of you said that it's rocket science. Of course, right recruiting, right, of course. You know, consider, for me it was rocket science, but for you, it isn't rocket science. Consider probably because each one of you actually is a rocket scientist. It's no big deal for you. You have been there before. You have seen it. You have dealt it all your life, and you have entered symposia like this over the years. Consider who you are. It's mission control. Have you heard of this term before? Houston, you got a problem. You hear that often? With your names? All the time. And guess what? You're being paid to join that club. So after years of working hard, toiling, you finally I have reached to become mission control. Houston, you got a problem. What's the most extraordinary part of this mission control? Even as you hear, ready to hear that, what is the most extraordinary part of this mission control? Can somebody just shout out anything that you think of? Being mission control. You feel important, got it? I got that. What else? The first ones, got it. The first ones to know, got it. What else? Come again, sir? It is on track, got it. Consider not just you feeling important, you're actually getting that you are. You matter. Consider you feel so because there is the strength of transparency available to you. Can somebody just take a guess? What is the strength of transparency when you are mission control? What is available to you? When I say it's called the strength of transparency. You're free to do whatever you like. Got it? Free to do whatever you like. What else? Free to do whatever you like. Got it? Something interesting? Do we want to build on this? Sorry, come again? You may know everything that you need to know. If I may slightly alter it, you may know. Okay, if you may know whatever you want to know, what is inherent in that sentence? Give solution. And if you don't have it, look for it. Look for it. You know, one of the most exciting part about being an actor is, you guys are really unlucky you're not actors. Because being an actor, right from the beginning, people have laughed at us. No big deal. Everybody laughs at us. What do you want to do? Being an actor. What do you want to do? Actor. We are used to it. We are thick-skinned. You guys you're still laughing. Rahul, you're still laughing at me. Give me a break, man. And the best part is that I'm okay with it. The trouble with actors is when they become successful. That's when they don't like people laughing at them. I want you to take me seriously, Rahul. Next time I say you to say, no, I'm going to say. Yeah? Consider that is your first stage. You become serious with yourself. And the first thing that goes away is the strength of transparency. Since we have reached a place, it's very difficult to ask yes, no. How difficult is it to ask? Please tell me. Scale of 0 to 10. How difficult is it to say, I don't know? 8. Thank you. And the rest of you who haven't spoken, it's probably 9.99. You're loath to even admit that at times I ask. I know a few people here who also don't ask. And I won't tell you that. My wife is laughing at me. I'm going to get it after I get home. My wife is here. Anyway. So the strength of transparency is कि मुझे नहीं आता, मुझे बता दो. You know, when I come to conferences like this, if I have to speak in the evening, I'm here since morning. Just trying to get something which I don't know about, which I know a whole lot that I don't know about. Consider the strength of transparency is how will your team experience when they see their leader is ready to ask. What's the experience? Can you just share what's your experience if somebody in your team gets that if you don't know it, you may ask? Empowered. What else? Come again. Just shout out. It's okay. Come again. Honest. You know what? One of the critical things is there are too many of those headstrong leaders around. And they are actually terrible role models. And as a practicing actor, I have seen that I inspire more people by asking rather than those who are not asking. Be open. For me, that is the strength of transparency which is available to this set of mission controls. And why do you need the transparency? It's precisely for this. Can somebody just read this out? What is this? Have you to do that? Yes or no? Yes or no? Can you do this alone? You cannot. And that's why these two lines, fighting fire and nurturing, we're not getting politically incorrect. It's like anything, male, female. It's like a hero. The entire thing is that throughout our life, how will it be that even as we are fighting fire, we're also nurturing people such that they can take care of it? How long do we want to spoon feed people? That's one of the things that I've noticed with a lot of HRs. Bigger the HR, they think the bigger the spoon. Nurturing fire, fighting fire, nurturing heroes, available. Illuminating. Even as that team is going on its own, illuminating such that it can be encouraged to stride. Now tell me one thing, if you have somebody already on your team and that person is encouraged to stride, how will that person be behaving? Is tomorrow guaranteed by you? Yes, no. Yes, no. Let them know. Let them know. Because that no is so very, there's not guarantee. Like, say no, no guarantee. You try and buy a guaranteed thing. There's no word guarantee, it's just called a warranty. And it lasts for 6 months. With some conditions. The illuminating leader actually encourages the team to stride, saying that my lunches, my lunch, your lunch, her lunch, his lunch isn't for free. And there is no guarantee. That is the mission control that I'm talking about. The mission control in which each person in the team is continuously invited for this. What do we read here? What are we getting this person ready for? Just checking. Can you just think of what are we getting this person ready for? Next. Future. Any guarantee noticed here? Do well, my friend. You know what's that word? Do well. Stride. Go for it. Go for it. Walk with, go for it. I'm there with you. I mean, these are some things which we invest in. Over the years in my life, the most amazing teachers that I got, they didn't handhold me. They allowed me to look. They allowed me to absorb. They allowed me to adapt. You know, by saying what? I can't say that word here. But one of them said, Pandit Satyadev Dubey, Brahm. Doctor ने बोला था actor बनने को. Brahm is a गाली. Doctor ने बोला था actor बनने को. So if you want to be an actor, take responsibility of your life. Take responsibility of your career. Take responsibility of the fact that you want to feed your parents, take care of your family. Look, absorb, adapt. So after 5 years of working in about 30, 40 films here in Hindi, in 99 I started working down south. Over the next 17 years, done those 200 plus films in 12 languages. Adapt. Last 6 years, I've also been leading programs like this across organizations. So I'm also an actor. Thanks to Tata Steel, I got it. वो इस्पात भी बनाते हैं, मैं actor भी हूँ. Consider how will it be for you if each one of us here in this room really gets that we are also what you are. Also. Not any of your roles is less. The mother, the father, the brother, the sister, the friend. Look, absorb, adapt. And that is the point where the talent hunts for the next launch. Not the HR is saying, come on, if you do, I think you really need, I think you're really suited for this. Just try this out, no? Just try it out, you know, you can try it out. And if you can't try this, you can't do this. Please welcome to the world of the actor. We hunt for it, sir. I'll try this, sir. कहीं थी ना आप? Please, मैं try करना चाहता हूँ. See if I can do it. That hunt for the launch which the talent has. You know, it'll take that little bit of effort on your part for really to encourage the hunger rather than the larger spoon and the silver spoon and the whatever spoon that we are working on to get even better spoons to feed them. The talent hunting for the launch, the next one. And for me, the key thing in this is when talent is being one with the vision. See, there is a vision on which the right talent, right recruiting is happening. There's a vision of the company, a future. How will it be if the talent is one with it? The talent is not, she's not looking saying that, look, you hired me for this. No, I can only do this. How will it be if the talent is nimble, is ready to adapt, is willing to do whatever is required such that that vision is translated? How will your job be? Just wondering, how will your job be? If that talent that you have nurtured is one which is nimble, which is ready to adapt, which is quicksilver, that is the inspiring one. Okay, this is rocket science. This equation says something like this, which says that, you know, what kind of a rocket fuel is needed for how much weight, and what is the gravity of that particular planet. Could be Earth, could be Moon, depending where it's taking off from. Typically, a difficult thing looks like this, but not for you. Not for you. For you, it looks like this. When the mission is accomplished, and the critical part, the talent is safe. My friends, this is the key part for me, because I really think that each one of us has to have that compassion for that human being whom you are inviting. How will it be right at that first interview when the talent gets that there is no need to lie? There is no need to promise the moon or Mars or whatever. How will it be if that person is listening for integrity? Listening that somebody who's speaking to me is not promising me things that she can't deliver. That is accomplished. A mission is accomplished when the talent is safe. And more often than not, I have felt talent is safe. Talent experiences safety when the talent is not surrounded by lies. Are we somewhere there? What is your experience when you're surrounded by lies? What's your experience? Come again, just shout out. Fails. What else? Negative. You know, you don't feel safe. You don't feel trustworthy around those people. The mission accomplished is not just what you are going to do for the company, but it is for the talent also to come home safe. I want to share one thing with you. Have you heard of the Columbia disaster? Columbia disaster happened because somebody somewhere messed up on the adhesive of that sponge. It fell off, and a piece of debris that as the sponge fell, it cracked one of the heat tiles. And on re-entry, they all perished. The mission was perhaps accomplished, but the talent wasn't safe. You, mission control, have that responsibility. Remember, I said that you're God. At some point, how it's going to finally translate into is not just right recruiting right. Welcome to a world in which you have empowered people such that the vision recruiting that you're doing translates into recruiting vision. A space in which people are one with the vision of the company and one with you. I really appreciate me having this opportunity to interact with you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Should I just take the liberty of allowing one or two quick thoughts or questions, if that's okay?
Absolutely.
Quick thoughts, questions, if any, raise of hands. No Slidos this time. Any quick comment? Yes, please, go for it. I thought we are not doing Slido. Sure, let's look at that. Real life influences real life versus vice versa.
Simultaneously. If you just look at it, our lives, each one of our lives is based on what are our aspirations. Have you felt that? Shall I give you an example? See, if you just think of it, anything that you want, just take 5 seconds and think of something that you want. Okay, 5 seconds. Okay, you know, just look at it. That thing that you said in your mind that you want, 99% is something that you've seen in somebody else. It could be a great behavior, it could be great body, it could be a great acquisition. The interesting part about real and real life is, the moment I see something in somebody else's life, it is real. You know why? Because I don't know half the story. I just know that that person is coming in that swanky car, or is wearing that jazzy shirt, or he's doing something that is overt. It is not real, it is real. So consider it is continuously happening. The only thing that connects us, and I kind of, Satya and we were chatting about, one of the most amazing things about reality around us is that to really invest in friendships, really invest in friendships. Because friendships keep taking the real and making it real. Because friends will point out things that acquaintances won't. So I invest a lot in friendships. And so just to share.
Thank you so much. Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Ashish.